again next year, or is it?
I will. I was competing 2020 also, and I took second place. Yeah, I want to go to world stage again, so I probably will compete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice. So I'm just gonna ask if anyone has any questions. Sorry, I'm breaking up so much. If anyone has any questions for Goda about competition, about coffee in general, about being a head barista, all that kind of stuff, just let us know in the comments section. So there is a little question mark at the very end where you can ask questions. So do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
I guess you told like the most important part. Yeah, I'm working with coffee for 2 years now. I was competing last year and this year, so I'm like a competition barista, and I'm a head barista and a trainer at Italia Cafe, which is a really cute spot in Vilnius, Lithuania. A really funky cafe because it's a really colorful one and a twist of Italy. So
Oh, nice.
a little bit Italy in Lithuania.
Very nice. Because you're in Italia Cafe now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been there for?
So I just started there because, well, my mom and her colleague established this business. And I was just like thinking to tag along and well work as a barista for a few months maybe because I was just started university, so just to make extra money and that's all. And it turned out that I found my passion behind bar, so I just stuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people end up. They do like coffee as a side job, like through university or just to get by while they're like finding out their dream. And then they find out that they love coffee and don't leave it for very many years.
Yeah. Well, it's not very far from my wanted career because I was always interested in sales. So kind of doing sales just with coffee. So yeah.
Do you happen to have any headphones?
I can't find it. Probably you can't hear me.
Yeah, I think I'm echoing on your side.
Oh, okay.
Just one moment. So if anyone who's watching, if you're a bit curious about why we do this, we're gonna do this.
Found it.
We are doing these lives at the moment, so people kind of meet people from all over the world about how they're getting on over the last few months. We're talking to coffee competitors. We're talking to people who are masseuses who used to be coffee competitors. We're talking to cheese makers. We're talking to fermentation makers. So it's like almost a little way of kind of for people to learn. And Goda is, are you going to be making some coffee for us today or telling us about
I already
your competition?
have some coffee.
Nice. What are you drinking?
Didn't want to get distracted, but I'm drinking my 2019 competition coffee, which is from Costa Rica. I just wanted to ask, can you hear me now better?
Perfectly.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's from Costa Rica, from El Diamante Farm, and it's made with carbonic maturation, so processed by carbonic maturation. And they had a little twist. They process this coffee by two methods, so by wash method and by anaerobic fermentation. So when they wash the coffee, they collect all the mucilage and they use in anaerobic fermentation. that coffee becomes very sweet because all the mucilage is like the sugar of the coffee cherry. So my coffee was really, really sweet, and it is now, and also very like distinct aroma of cinnamon, which was mind blowing,
That's
and
crazy.
won the first place in Lithuania. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you come to find this coffee?
I was really I was working in coffee for half a year when I get into the competition. So I really trusted the more professional baristas in my team that I had when I was preparing. So uh, our coffee shop, Italala, is working with Dita Artigianale roasters from Florence. So they are kind of very professional baristas. They are always competing in world stage, and I'm really glad that I know them, and not just know them, but call them as a friends of mine. So they helped me pick the coffee. We had a really great range of coffees, but this one just kind of hooked me with the cinnamon aroma. It was like kind of dessert, and I'm kind of a sweet tooth, so I was kind of hooked.
And I think I remember reading about your routine as well, and you were kind of going into like you were kind of the science of coffee a little bit.
I was kind of talking more about creativity and fermentation. Well, creativity related to fermentation, and well, I talked about that distinct anaerobic fermentation where the added mucilage is used, just because I was so inspired by the Esteban, my producer. Because he always wanted to improve and to make this coffee even more unique. So the coffee that I used was the sixth edition of anaerobic fermentation,
Oh, wow.
always improved. So that's why I really believe that coffee competition is not really just about coffee, but it is about dedication and people creativity. So I went with this concept last year, 2019, and also 2020, because I so believe that creativity just pushes people to strive for more, strive for perfection. So and I think it was just an impact of my team, because they are always so creative, and they push me to be creative also. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, it's always nice to hear when there's always someone behind the barista who's competing.
Yeah, that's the topic that I also am really passionate about, to tell everyone that like barista competition is not one man show. It is like a lot of people behind you that makes your performance, designs, like taste your coffee, because you have to have a second opinion. There's a lot of work. You can't do it on your own. So yeah, there's a lot of people behind one performance.
Yes. And I think I remember reading that you said you were getting ready for 6 months before a competition.
For the first one, yeah.
For the first one. And I think I read that you prepared for 12 to 14 hours a day.
It was for World, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I won, I was well, I was half of the year so in coffee. So I was really shocked that I won, because, well, yeah, I worked really hard and I really wanted but probably not the winning, but that my story and my topic will be heard on the world stage also. So I didn't really seek for the winning, but wanted just for more people to hear my message. So when when I heard that they said my name, that I won, so I was really happy, and I wanted to make my performance as well as possible. Well, I think each of us that goes to a world competition feels that way. They want to bring their A game. So yeah, we are practicing for 12 hours a day. Just was wake up, go to training room, train,
Whoa.
and go back and sleep.
Yeah, that's
So
incredible.
it was intense, but I really love when you have stuff that you like are very passionate about. So I really love that preparation. It was really intense and hard and exhausting, but I really loved it.
Yeah, actually, this is exactly what I was just about to ask you. This is from Andre. Because you work so many hours, like you train so many hours per day, how did you structure your day? And how much like did you like quantitative work and quality work? So did you just keep doing the routine from start to finish every time, or would you focus on little bits like tamping and like,
Uh, for the first part, when we just started with the world competition, we didn't really had a coffee because we didn't know that maybe we will go with the national coffee, maybe we will go with the other one. So then we couldn't really write a speech. We couldn't
mm,
cup the coffee and decide on the coffee. So yeah, then we worked on the technical stuff like tamping, steaming. I'm really struggling with latte art, so I was really working on that. And when we already decided on coffee, then we were just wrote a speech in like 1 week and just
wow.
train. So there was some occasions that I was just stopped because I couldn't remember my performance. I was just too tired to remember and just start crying.
Oh
But
no, yeah.
uh,
That's called exhaustion,
yeah,
I think. Yeah. Oh, that's
but
amazing.
and I was really thankful for my coffee shop, Itala Cafe, because they let me uh, just to train for those months that I had to prepare for world competition. They just covered the whole team covered my shifts, so I was
Oh, amazing.
really glad and felt really supported. I always feel supported from them, but especially that time.
Yeah. And when you were training for Worlds and you said that you wanted to train up your latte art, how did you do that?
Well, I steamed a lot of milk, and I wasted a lot of milk. I know there are a lot of tricks to do with the soap and some some kind of other techniques. I just did with milk and kind of a wasteful, but I really wanted to be perfect at it. And I still messed up in the
Yeah.
world because my hand was shaking and was total mess. So
Oh no, but that's
I
yeah,
really
I
need
think that's the
to
thing of
work.
calming down. So I have some questions for you already. Um, so this, yeah, I guess you could definitely answer this one. So in competition, do they supply the coffee you use for it? And if you bring your own coffee, which coffee or roast do you prefer?
So no, in competition we have to bring our coffee ourselves. It's kind of part of the competition to choose your coffee. And well, I also I always couldn't say the specific roast. Like maybe for one coffee, the darker roast is better. Not the darkest one and very oily, but maybe the more developed coffee is more tastier, more sweet. And for the other one, maybe the light roast is better. And for me, it was that 2019 when I was using Costa Rica. We had a lot of sweetness in that coffee, so we didn't need to develop it really dark roast. So we had light to medium, something like that. And in 2020, we had a really fruity coffee. So we didn't want to lose any acidity, but also really wanted a lot of sweetness. So it was a little bit a darker roast. So it really depends on the coffee that you choose to bring to competition.
And when you were doing, when you were choosing your coffees, would you choose how you would do your signature drink first, or would you do like after?
When I'm choosing my coffee,
Yeah.
well, the first thing is the cupping, because when you do the cupping, you can tell which coffee is already like saying your name, and then you work with it for a little bit with espresso. So the most important thing for me is to have a really good espresso, because in competition, the most points you get from the espresso beverage. So this is the most important part. For the signature drink, you just have to take your perfectly good espresso and make it even more perfect, which is a really hard task, but you already need to have a perfect espresso. So that's why I start everything from cupping, then espresso, and then signature and milk beverage.
Nice. Yeah, it's not easy, especially it's like you're trying to make something that you're perfected in espresso and make it even better. Like it's not easy.
Well, in the first year, I remember when I was doing a signature drink, and I didn't really understood what we supposed to do for the signature drink, because it was a really small drink and it was kind of funny for me that we are giving those little signature drinks for the judges, but and I really it wasn't the best drink that I had, but everyone said, "Oh, it's a really nice balance. It's really cool." So I was really happy when I created a 2020 drink, which I was really, really proud of. It was like a espresso tonic, but flipped upside down. Because when you're drinking espresso tonic, it is kind of, you feel more tonic than coffee. You can make whatever extraction and it will taste good because the tonic overwhelms every coffee. So what I did, I said that I want to do espresso tonic that the coffee is the main ingredient that you can feel in the drink. So I made my own tonic with saffron and with a traditional Lithuanian drink. It's sap. I don't know, probably you don't know what it is.
No, I don't.
Just like Baltic country and Scandinavian country drink. So it is from a tree in the spring. It is basically water filled with the minerals that is going up the tree, and you just make a little hole and collect that water. And it's super sweet because there's a lot of nutrients and minerals in this. So it's super sweet and has a very weird texture, which is kind of when you try for the first time, maybe it's not the best thing, but for siphon it was really cool because that texture helped me to bubble the drink and also to infuse the drink because it was a little bit denser than water. So yeah.
Nice.
And I infused it with passion fruits and then mixed it with espresso and a little bit of vanilla syrup. It was really cool drink.
That sounds so good.
Really proud of it.
Yeah, I would be
Yeah.
too. So where
It
do
was
you start when you're building your drink? So you've done like national competition, you've done world competition, you've seen a lot. Where do you start when you're building your signature drink?
probably well, this is a trick that I learned from one of my coach from Francesco, which is coaching me for 2 years almost. So I learned this trick that you can taste the coffee and find the flavors that you feel in the espresso, for example, and then go to food pairing site and check these ingredients and how they mix with others, and just get a lot of ideas from that. Then you go to the next stage when you make a lot of syrups, a lot of juices, and mix everything and just search for the right flavor. And then go to the texture, play with texture. So I chose siphon just to make bubbly drink. And then if you have, well, I don't know, courage to play with garnish, because a lot of baristas are really afraid to do garnishes. And I did one, but I also got minus point because of that from one judge, because he said that it is harder to drink.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess that's why a lot of baristas are really afraid of like choosing garnishes for their drinks. Yeah.
So what do you this is like, I guess, the lead-on question from the last one. What do judges look for in a signature drink, or what did your judges look for in the signature drink?
Well, the first thing is creativity, because it has to be an original drink. It has to be creative. It has to fit with your coffee and show the best aspects of your coffee. So these are the main points that judges are looking for in your drink. And I remember I was talking with one judge. So he said that he really liked this idea that I did the espresso tonic, because it is like a very simple idea, and in every coffee shop you can probably do this drink, because a lot of coffee shops now have siphons and can make an espresso, so it's really easy to recreate, but also a really original idea. So I was really happy to hear these words.
Very nice. So, whoops, I don't know. I think we're getting someone who's like coming onto our onto our onto our live.
We're being hacked.
So, yeah, I think so. Oh no, the internet's going wild. So what is the biggest advantage of carbonic maceration or anaerobic fermentation, would you say?
Well, from my side, I probably would say this is the stage where you can influence the coffee the most without roasting. Because when you brew coffee, there is a lot of influences like weather and diseases, a lot of stuff that can influence your coffee, and anaerobic fermentation or just processing is the way where you can control everything. You can control the humidity in your place where you drying the coffee. You can not only humidity but temperature, and also carbonic maturation just seemed to me a very creative way to make coffee even better, because the story that I was telling with my Costa Rican coffee, that it was very exceptional coffee, but not like you're drinking and it was wow.
Yeah.
It was good coffee. It was a really exceptional one. But then the Esteban, my producer, he just started to experiment with this coffee, just to see what anaerobic fermentation can do to this coffee. And then the cinnamon, the distinct cinnamon appeared. You can feel apple pie, like it's all
Like
the
texture
childhood.
wise as well?
Not texture wise,
No.
but it was like when you smell this coffee, it was like a cinnamon apple pie. So
Wow.
just brings out a lot of childhood memories and makes this coffee even more exceptional. So I think the biggest advantage of carbonic maceration is that you can control everything in this process and make your coffee better. Because okay, 1 year maybe you didn't succeed, but then you find what you did wrong, and then okay, let's change it a little bit and make coffee even better. But if you for example, plant a tree in the wrong spot, it's a little bit more harder to fix this problem or something. Well, yeah, the biggest advantage probably is that you can do everything and control everything and make the coffee even more exceptional. So, yeah.
And why, I think this is the question everyone always gets when they decide to do competition, but why, what was your biggest motivation for doing competition the first time?
Well, yeah, after half of the year that I was working, I saw one video of the competition, and it was Francesco Sanapa. He was in the World Barista Competition 2013, and he was doing his routine, and knew that he is the roaster that roasts for our coffee shop, but that's it. I didn't know him. I just saw the video, and it was so much passion and love for coffee in that performance, and the customer service was like extraordinary. So it made me interested what this competition is about, and then I started to look up into it. So then I decided maybe I want to try it because I'm also a really competitive person, and also I really like competitions because I want when you're in competition, you are like in a time frame that you can learn the most. So you just take, like, you have month or 2 months and you try to learn as much as possible, which is a really great opportunity. So that's why I loved competition, and also the competitive side of mine really wanted to try.
That's so good. Yeah, I think a lot of people when they first go into competition, especially as like a new barista as well, you kind of like start it and then you're about like a couple of maybe a month into training and you go, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? Because you really are like, you start to focus on the tiniest things about like how you're tamping, how you're steaming, how you're pouring, and then you start dreaming about competition.
Oh yeah, I dreamed about competition not once, but the most terrifying one, I always was afraid to forget something to bring on the stage. And I remember that when I was training, I forgot tray. One tray that I had to bring with my signature glasses. So constantly forget it. And then one night I just fell asleep and I woke up searching for that tray in my bed because I
Mm.
was just remembering in the dream that I constantly forget it. So
I think
it's
everyone's
really
yeah, I think everyone's done that thing where if you're working as a barista or even competing, you wake up at some wild hour in the middle of the night and you just start
yeah.
getting up and getting changed to go do something. Like run to the shop, you have to go find the milk or something like that. And you're like, wait, I'm not working today. And two, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
why? You're like, it's in my brain. Okay. Ugh. Someone's got a question. So I think this is from someone you know. Oh no. It says, ever since I saw your baby Chino recipe, I've been wondering about your whole experience being a mom barista of the quarantine.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I can clear up that I'm not a mom. But I have a little cousin of mine that I'm just obsessed with. So I constantly, when I meet with him, we constantly are making coffee that is really interested in coffee. We just when he comes with his mom and dad to a coffee shop, he always gets interested what I'm doing. So,
The
but I'm
person is
not a
saying,
mom.
really?
Uh, but I'm not a mom. But yeah, I really love my cousin and that he is really interested in coffee. And the baby chino recipe that uh, she was talking about, it was on Quarantine Coffee Club. So we did lots of recipes of coffee that we can do it at home because it was quarantine. So I just decided to make also for kids, like the
Mm.
drink for kids. And I just thought it was only appropriate to film that video also with a kid. So I grabbed my cousin and we filmed a really funky baby chino video.
That's so nice. That's so good. Did you put that up online? Like, where is that
Yeah,
online?
it's also in Quarantine Coffee Club.
That's so good. So I think if I can find this question because we got a few of them. Okay. What is your ideal ready to drink date for freshly roasted espresso? Or how long do you degas to get the desired taste? It's a good question.
Uh, I am really well, this is a tricky question for me because in our country in Lithuania, a lot of roasters are doing degassing just for 2 days or 3 days, which I really hate
Mm.
because, coffee is kind of very acidic, very green. You can feel like that is very flat taste of the coffee. And one time I remember smelling amazing coffee, and it smelled super fruity, like a pie. And then we tasted it, and it was really like nothing special. It's the smell was amazing, and the taste was nothing special. And then the barista told me that it was roasted yesterday. So I am really sad that a lot of coffee shops still are doing this, and saying to customers that the fresher coffee is the better. But for me, 5, 7 days is the perfect degassing. Also, we are getting coffee from Italy shipped, so it is perfect for us because when they roast coffee and ship to us, 5-7 days pass and we get a really, really great coffee. And
Yeah.
it's a perfect DS.
Yeah, because like I think with espresso, I remember being taught about espresso, and when you're buying bags of espresso, always find the roast date, and if you can't find the roast date, don't buy the coffee.
Yeah.
Like it's that rule. I can't see the rest of the question though. Ooh. So someone also asked, I guess this will be like kind of lead on to the question I'm going to ask in a little bit. But what are you drinking at the moment? Are you drinking filter or espresso or both or
Filter.
siphon?
At home, always filter. Because I don't really have espresso machine. But whenever I go to coffee shop, I drink espresso because I really love espresso drinks. I probably drink filter just when I'm in competition mode because I'm just tired of espresso flavor and I just want something very light. But I'm really an espresso drinker. So whenever I go to a coffee shop, I drink espresso.
Nice. And other than the espresso you've obviously had at competition, what's been your favorite espresso that you've ever had, maybe?
I've ever had. Oh, I have to remember.
Or one that like
Um,
pops into your head.
I was just I just remember that the one coffee that was really stoked, but it was just from my competition. It was 2019 milk drink.
Mm.
So it was my Costa Rican coffee and defrosted milk. So we froze the milk and then defrosted just a quarter of the milk, so it was very creamy. And
Wow.
the milk drink was a lot of pastry flavors like buttery cookie, cinnamon bun. It was wow. Uh,
I
but
think you're like
probably
salivating as you're talking about
yeah, yeah.
it.
I was just covering a little bit. Yeah, but also a really great espresso I tried in the world when I was after nobody knows this secret, just the ones that been in the world stage. But after world competition, you exchange your coffees with the competitors because you really want them to try yours, and they and I wanted to try theirs. So I exchanged a lot of coffees and got a lot of different ones. So I really liked Matthew Tace from Mammoth.
Oh yeah.
So he had a really nice Lorena variety. I can't remember from what country, but it was really winey coffee. It was wow. It was one
Yeah.
of the coffees that you have the wow factor. And then when you try and wow.
Nice. Whoops, let me find the questions. And for you, okay, I guess this would be, as someone who likes filter and espresso, what is your favorite brewing method?
A lot of friends, a lot of coffee friends hate me for it, but they really like hammocks. And I remember I was talking with my one of my coffee friends, and he was telling me how hammocks is not uneven extraction and builds up a vacuum and everything. And I just wrote, but I like it
Yeah.
because well, the hammocks for me is. I don't know, for V60 it was a more intense flavor because you get more acidity from V60. So I really love Chemex because I always drink brewed coffee in the morning. So I
Mm.
really want something very light, very not like in your face, the acidity. So I like the Chemex brewing method.
Nice. Oh no, I support that. That's how I started drinking coffee. So,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to share as well.
And
So
it's
why
a
not?
really pretty device also.
It's in the design museum.
Yeah, because I am a really create well, I really appreciate creative things, so I also really appreciate the design of the hammocks.
So you've obviously, I guess Lithuania has also been in. Whoops, let me get rid of this. I've got like the pudgy fingers. It's not going down. But over Lithuania's been in lockdown.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were.
you were.
Yeah,
Congrats.
we just finished our coffee festival, and like a few days later, we had a lockdown.
Okay.
Um, so we had just coffee to go, and for I think 2 months, maybe more. I'm not sure. Yeah, well, it was March, so March, April, May, 3 months. We had a lockdown, but I'm really happy that we have a really great mayor of Vilnius because he initiated a lot of great stuff that was, well, every coffee shop and restaurant and bar got more space outside to build more tables outside,
Oh wow.
because for a short period of time we had coffee just outside. So firstly, just take away, then we could do the tables outside but not in, and then also inside. But for the whole summer, every restaurant, coffee shop, and bar gets more place to put their tables without any additional permissions you have to write for the government.
Oh
So
wow.
it was really, really, well, it is really, really cool because Vilnius is uh, this big city cafe.
Yeah.
You're just walking and there's a lot of cafes around you.
And did you guys have to close down at all?
No, we just did the takeaway. A lot of coffee shop chose to close because they didn't saw a point to be open just for takeaway. But we kept the coffee shop running, not in regular hours. We were working a little bit, well, shorter hours.
Mm.
But yeah, we're for the whole quarantine we worked just takeaway.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's I live in Berlin, so it was the same here, where some places just closed down. People had take only takeaway, but people would keep closing down. The police would keep closing down cafes if it wasn't it had to be very strict rules kind of thing. And did you explore any new coffee things during lockdown?
Well, we mostly worked on office stuff because I
Okay.
wasn't working in a coffee shop during quarantine. We had just several baristas working in coffee shop. I was working on online shop, so we were opening online shop just to sell more coffee beans
Mm.
and like get more profit in that way. So we were working just on a lot of office stuff. I was creating a lot of videos how to do coffee at home. So they were really popular. Like to our customers, they really liked it. And I was really glad because more and more people just got involved in coffee during quarantine.
Nice.
Um,
Well, if you look on the positive side of the
Yeah.
quarantine, it was a really great thing because a lot of people get interested in coffee. Then a lot of people got to know that we are selling beans because we were struggling a little bit with that. Everyone just thought that we're selling just coffee inside or takeaway.
Yeah.
To see on the positive side, we had some positive things happening in quarantine. So we just it was a tricky situation, quarantine, but we just made the best of it. We tried still to work to achieve other things. Maybe, well, we can't sell the espresso or latte to you inside, but maybe we can teach you how to do a V60 at home, and maybe you will like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so nice. I'm sure like now you're having customers come in who have a lot more coffee knowledge.
Yeah, it's really fun because also people are already explored a little bit with our coffee beans, so they know what they like. Now they're saying, "Oh, I like more acidity, but maybe not that harsh. Maybe not Kenya, but Ethiopia." So it's really fun to start a conversation with the customer that knows the profile of the coffee that he wants to try.
Nice. So I have a question that sort of leads in on that. So if you had a customer come in and they asked you, how do you dial in espresso? Because I think a lot of people have a lot of different methods. Like I learned a different method to how someone else would. And how do you, like you get a brand new coffee from in shipment, how do you dial it in?
Well, we always start with the 19 grams in. I always just look at the origin. Also, whether it's African coffee or South American coffee, I always adjust a little bit. Maybe I will use more or less to put the ground coffee. And I'll always start with out being twice as much as in. And then just try, taste, and see what is better for the flavor. If your coffee is too harsh, maybe to make maybe it's very acidic, so you make a longer extraction, or maybe it's very drying and very bitter, so you make smaller out. So just a lot of trying, and then that day when you get a new coffee, you're really over caffeinated, and but it's very also that day when I get a new coffee, I'm really excited. Well, I found out that we're getting new coffee like 2 weeks before, so I can't sleep 2 weeks. Okay, I really want to taste that coffee. I really want to be like amazing and blow my mind. I hope that will be, yeah. So I'm really become excited about these things.
Yeah, I think I did the same. I always would start with, you always start with a 1 in 2 out ratio.
Yeah.
And then depending on what kind of espresso machine you have, you can like you can change so many different variables.
Yeah.
And like if you do like any of the SCA courses, like they like change this, change this, change this, but don't change everything because you will get a very big headache. Remember to spit out coffee. So many questions. Okay. I'm not sure I have any more. So I think you've answered all the questions that came in, but do you have anything you would like to say before we finish? Because I see a lot of your customers messaging.
Yeah, I saw a lot of my friends, and I can see one girl that connected with who I was talking a lot when I was working on 2020 competition. She is working in Colombia and working near the my producer. So she knows a lot about my coffee. So I was always writing her just to check if my information is clear and it is correct. So I can send a lot of wishes to you. Hi, Angie. Yeah, and a lot of my
It's got a lot
friends.
of love hearts just happened.
Yeah, a lot of my friends also, they're really supportive. I can be pain in the ass when I'm competing because I always in a training room. So if they want to meet me, they're always coming to training room also and drinking coffee with me and seeing my performances. So I'm really, really glad to have them all. Yeah. So
Yeah.
probably that's all.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we're going to be putting this up on our YouTube in a few weeks. So if like anyone has any questions that Goda answered over the hour about like competition, dialing in, all that stuff, about quarantine, be a nice
Yeah.
flashback in a few years. We're like, what was quarantine like? What was
Yeah.
quarantine like for coffee professionals in Lithuania? You can go find it there. So thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you so much, Goda. I hope you have a lovely evening.
Thank you, you
And
too.
yeah, so have a great day. Bye.
Bye.